What's up guys, REG Customs here. Thought I'd do this quick video to do a compare and contrast on the most recent custom diecasts off the bench. Kyle Larson's first NASCAR Cup Series win from Michigan. And right off the bat you can tell, there are differences. Pride myself to producing the most accurate race version you see from the footage, TV broadcast, photos. I go to all lengths to ensure that they are as accurate as possible. And I thought this would be fun just to show, hey, this is what a custom diecast car can bring you versus what the Lionel offering would bring you. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to jump right into it. So here we have actually very hard to find car now. If you do find it, you're going to be paying a pretty penny for this. This is a autographed version. Got this autographed at Dover a number of years ago. But right off the bat, yeah, they are different because this is a victory lane version, and this is a post cross the line burnout right before he hits victory lane. But when this production version came out, right away, you and I and the rest of the diecast collecting world, we spotted a lot of issues with it. This is a great diecast, but let's dive right into it with the production version. So they got the confetti right. If you look at the pictures, you have all this blue, typical confetti in any of these streamers, all around the sides here. So nice job of doing that. But right away, there were issues that were quickly spotted. The first, everyone has very good eyes for this. They didn't quite get the red and white fade paint job, done properly, for lack of better words. From an untrained eye, it looks okay, but when you look at the photos, the fade's definitely different. The Clorox here is kind of lost in the mix with the white coming up. So as I'll show you momentarily with the custom version, corrected that. In fact, let's take a look at that. So I did a little fade job, but as you see in the pictures too, just made sure there was a definitive line here. They didn't do that either for here. There's a definitely sharp line. If you look at pictures, there's a sharp line right about here, right before it hits the headlight, and then it starts fading, and then so on and so forth. So, the guy getting this, I hope he's going to be happy because this is what was on track. This paint scheme, not necessarily this pink thing going on here. So that's number one. Number two, again, small details, but I sweat the small details. I want to make sure if you order a diecast, you're happy and it is accurate. So they just put this generic white chin on the front here, where in the real race version, they are down to the ground for that downforce there. And speaking of downforce, I don't expect Lionel to be extremely accurate. In recent months, I've been very impressed by the level of detail. Blowouts, quarter panels missing, sheet metal bent. That's great. But there's still some work to be done. And back in 2017, when this was released, this is a 2016 race version, but this was released in 2017. I don't know if they were quite there yet. So let's talk about aero. With these, you see the side skirts, they're not bent. I ensured that, the side skirts were bent. You can kind of see the bend there. Did it on this side as well. And then for the burnout, when he's doing burnouts and blows the tire, there's a crazy amount of pressure that expands. And if any of you guys have sheet metal, it's not that strong. Crumples and blows out pretty quickly. So here I replicated the post blowout. It actually took part of the quarter panel on top here kind of ripped it. And on the Lionel version, they just put a decal there. So, you know, little detail, but, you know, this version actually has race damage. The quarter panels blowing out, they did a pretty decent job there. I actually flared mine out like the actual car from Victory Lane, so that's something else. Let's see. Pretty typical. I'm not sure why they made the taillights so large. You know, I put everything to scale, and that's what I saw here. Just made sure all the decals in the right spot. Little things like the SS should be on this part of the vehicle instead of what you see here, which is the more accurate version. Some race damage here from bumping, and probably you guys are looking at it right now. The most notable difference of these two cars is the spoiler, the rear spoiler here. Again, Lionel's producing a ton of these, and for cost purposes, they're not going to ensure that every single race version is 100% accurate. So most of the race versions, they'll put the generic, you know, tall spoiler that a lot of the 2015, 2016 cars had. And this was a standard offering on many cars. I'm pretty sure all the race versions in 2016 had this spoiler, regardless of if it was a short track, if it was a super speedway, that's what you're getting. What we do here, RG Customs, made sure we had an accurate spoiler. So I did lift this off from the boneyard I have. I took this off of a Chase Elliott Camaro. No big deal there. Sorry, Chase Elliott fans. But this is a much more accurate spoiler that would have run at Michigan. And so, you know, glaring differences right there. Okay. So we have that. And then another thing you probably notice is the ride height. This is way up and this is way down. That's just the springs from Lionel that they put in. Again, a generic, you know, typical thing they're doing with all their raced version and standard releases. They're not going to take the time to take the springs out. You know, I'm not blaming them for that. It's just time and money. But with a custom version, yes, we're going to do that. I want to make sure it's accurate. The ride height's lowered. Now, if it were at a super speedway, which I guess Michigan, you could consider that, but, you know, a Talladega or Daytona, you're kind of riding a little higher. But for Michigan, you know, I looked at the pictures and I determined, hey, this is an appropriate ride height. And I really like how that was done. And if you want to see how it was done, on the YouTube channel, REG Customs YouTube channel, you can see a quick version time lapse of what I did to get the chassis suspension lowered. So again, that is different across certain years. It's a much more difficult to accomplish that with the recent diecast releases because everything's plastic mold. You know, in 2016 we still had actual diecast chassis. I wish they would bring these back. It just feels like a diecast, the weight. Let's see what else. Tire details. You know, I didn't notice a ton of this brake dust buildup that they replicate here, but it is what it is. The window net. I love window nets down. It just makes it look a lot more realistic in my opinion. But there are some collectors that prefer it to be up. That's totally fine with me, but you know, the gentleman who wanted this done wanted the window net down, so that's what we did. And then something else that I just wanted to point out, just little subtle details, which I am crazy about. The one is the jack stand arrow. Is it completely centered with this jack opening? No. And again, these are standard release diecast. I can't do anything about that. The jack opening would have been a little smaller and towards the back here. So what Lionel did was they put the jack stand working right there. Again, small detail. Most people aren't going to sweat that, but hey, it is what it is. The wind sticker, you know, since this is not in Victory Lane, doesn't have time to put the wind sticker on, so made sure that was accurate. And just little things like the contingency decals. This kind of stuff drives me nuts. I am a very detail-oriented person when it comes to this. I don't know why they insist on putting smaller contingencies on the nose. Most of these race cars, I mean, gosh, 20 years and back, these contingencies are pretty large. A lot of them, they overlap the headlight. So we made sure that we put accurate sized contingencies on there versus these little small guys here. So yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about today. Again, awesome car. I'm not digging at it at all. This is a great piece for a Larson fan. Have one in the family. My wife's been a huge Larson fan, so she's had this for a while and was fortunate enough to get it signed. I'm never getting rid of this car because of value and just sentimental reasons. But for those who want an extremely accurate version, the custom route is where you go. That's not to say that some of the cars that Lionel produces are not accurate. There's a lot of great examples of accurate raced versions, but for this example, we just wanted to tighten some things up because there were so many notable differences that were called out when this car was first released. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you liked it, let me know. If you didn't, let me know as well. You're not going to hurt my feelings. Just thought it'd be cool to interact with you guys. I had 2 emails asking like, hey, can you do a compare and contrast on the standard release versus yours? And I thought that'd be a good idea. So plenty of more things like this to come. Hope you guys enjoyed watching the build progress. I'll certainly do more of those. And yeah, maybe some fantasy talk in the future, preseason discussions. And then, of course, we're gearing up for the Daytona 500. Cannot wait. I don't know about you guys, but it has been bleak without a NASCAR race on Sundays. So I am pining for the start of the season just as much as you guys. But again, thanks for liking, commenting, subscribing to the REG Customs official YouTube channel. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we will see you next time.